Sometimes when you look at a clock, time seems to stand still. Maybe you've noticed this to your bemusement or horror as well. You'll be in the middle of something and flick your eyes up to an analog clock on the wall to see what the time is. The second hand of the clock seems to hang in space, as if you've just caught the clock in a moment of laziness. After this pause, time seems to restart and the clock ticks on as normal. It gives us the disconcerting idea that even something as undeniable as time can be a bit less reliable than we think. If you've ever been in a room with a clock with a second hand like in a classroom, darting your eyes back and forth, waiting for class to be out. Now here's what happens right when you dart your eyes to the clock. That very first second, that very first movement of the second hand that happens when your eyes reach it, seems longer than every other second. Afterwards, look away from the clock and then look, and that first second will seem to linger as if time itself has stopped. The reason for that is that your brain replaces the time. It took for your eye to go from here to the clock with an image of the first thing you saw, which was the second hand, and so that little fraction of a second of time is added to the length of time. It takes the second hand to move. What's mind-blowing about this entire effect is that it happens all the time, all day, as you look around the world from one point to another. That little fraction of a second that your eyeball was moving is lost, and your brain just replaces it with the very next thing that you see now. It might just be a tiny, tiny amount of time, but over the course of an entire day, those little fractions of a second add up to almost 40 minutes. 40 minutes of every day that you're awake are lost because our eyeballs move.